Here we go. Here we go, y'all. I'm back. I'm back, y'all. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Low Steph, and I'm back here for episode 176 of the platform. Happy to be back, man. Had to take a little bit of a holiday break, you know what I'm saying? I didn't record nothing. I think I recorded the week of Christmas. I did record the week of Christmas. And then that New Year's week, I was actually a guest. And so I want to shout out to my man Howard, part of the Amazing Pod. It's a podcast that's out of Texas. I believe it's near Houston. I don't want to. I'm assuming. I think it's near Houston area. But dope content creator, man. And he had me on the show, and we had a good collaboration, and to the point that we had like a lot of content, and I do like doing shows with content creators. So if you do want to invite me on the show, I'm more than likely to say yes. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then you let me if we doing Zoom, we use a lot of the same type of systems to record this type of stuff. And he allowed me to record the content, and then we was able to I was able to do my thing, and then we basically shared the collaboration and did a lot of posts together and stuff like that. So it was a fun episode. Definitely my kind of episode in terms of, yes, I do miss doing that. I miss talking about the random stuff with people, you know what I'm saying? But we are back solo this week, and we got a good episode this week, man. I'm talking about a TV show. I'm talking about a movie. I'm talking about Joy Taylor and the FS1 Freak-Offs, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs that are looming this weekend. You know what I'm saying? So wild card round is this weekend, man. So yeah, I'm excited. It's a new year. It's the same me, though. It's the same me. I think I talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions or kind of things that I'm looking forward to. I talked about that on the Amazing Pod a week or two ago. And for me, it's some little stuff. Like for me, it's about like I do need to plan better. I am trying to get fit a little bit. Like here's the thing. I do exercise, I work out, but I'm not eating the best, right? So and I'll be 37. I'll be 37 in 2025. And so yeah, man, I'm starting to see what older people were talking about when they say stuff like, the pounds don't just kind of melt off the same way. Like you got to put in a little bit more work. And when it comes to working out, I do work out pretty steadily. I'm active. I'm not really sedentary at all. I play quite a bit of basketball. I do work out a couple times a week. But there is like a gear that I'm not shifting to. Like I've been and I think a lot of times it's about time because I really could be at a gym for 2.5 hours and be pretty content. But like it's just when you have a family, when you have things, you got responsibilities, it's hard to just take that much time out of your day to be somewhere else. Like it's one thing if I was doing something in the house, like I'm talking about any activity and I was spending that much time, but like to be away from the house and doing that type of stuff, it's a little bit difficult. But no, in 2025, man, we're gonna get, I gotta I'm gonna be on the beach a lot this summer. So I gotta get right. I really have no choice, but I'm excited about that. Like I said, I need to plan some stuff better. What else we gonna do in 2025? I don't know. I don't really have any other resolutions, but definitely looking forward to it being another great year in my life, man. So it'll be like I said, we're finishing up chapter 36, and I don't know, y'all know. Well, if you know my from New Year's Day, my birthday is the 90th day of the year, and one day I'm actually gonna tell. I bought this birthday book. And it was actually a book that I saw when I was like on like a little vacation, a little getaway, and it was in this Airbnb, and then I ended up finding the book. The book was like $50, but it's like the ultimate birthday book. And like, yo, my birthday is one of the greatest days ever, like ever. Like so many great things happen, and so like this year I'll tell y'all a little bit about my birthday and like the historical significance of it. But we'll get into it another time. But Yeah, man. Tonight, man. Today, I want to talk about Squid Games. I saw Squid Game. I ran through that joint. So we're gonna talk about Squid Game. I did see a new movie. We're gonna talk about Mufasa, the Lion King. I cannot wait to talk about that. That is, yeah, that movie was crazy. That movie is so dope. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. We're gonna talk about Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor, and we're gonna talk about this lawsuit that's been filed, and I might take a little bit of a different angle. I'm not gonna say I'm taking a certain side or anything like that, but I noticed that the media in general, podcasts in general, YouTube in general, right? Y'all only kind of talking about this situation from one particular perspective, and like, and this is what I say: Joy Taylor is getting all the smoke when it's some other smoke that needs to be had. Now we definitely gonna get into Joy Taylor because um she might not have. I'll say this. I'll just put this out there. In terms of legal standing, there might not be too much that we could prove against her, but her ethics, we'll say that. Well, I'll say this. Her ethics are in the toilet, right? I mean, Joy Taylor's ethics are in the toilet, but in terms of a crime or liability, you know, what I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to say. But there's other people because she's not even the main. Everybody making her the big deal, whatever. She's not even the main defendant, right? Like she's kind of down there a little bit. It's Fox. It's this man named Charlie Dixon, and then it's Skip Bayless. So we're gonna talk all about that, and then I'm gonna talk about the playoffs, particularly my Packers slimming into the playoffs. This big matchup against the Eagles this weekend, and why the Eagles did not unleash Saquon Barkley to break Eric Dickerson's elusive record. All right. So where we gonna start? We're gonna start with Squid Games, right? So about fucking time, yo. What the hell, man? Shout out to Netflix, man. Shout out to Squid Games, man. But too long of a wait, man. Too long of a wait. I don't know if y'all remember this, but the first season of Squid Games came out in September of 2021. September 2021. So 3 years later, we finally get season two. Like probably like, I most of the time, mostly I forgot about it, but like the first season was so iconic. The first season was so memorable that it was like, all right, whenever they drop it, they drop it. Now, I thought that, it was one of those things where this is a foreign show. What other shows do they got to make? Like they could make a new season of Squid Game, but like yeah, it took 3 years. I meant to look this up, but if I recall, I remember them talking about how like the people did not make that much money working on Squid Games. No, no, even though it was like it's like the biggest streaming show in the world. Like when it first came out, and I think it set record like world records of streaming. And if I'm not mistaken, the actors in that show did not get paid very well at all. Whatever. So it's just definitely interesting show, definitely morbid, definitely what's it, dystopian, and it gets you on the edge of your seat at times, definitely like that psychological thriller. But if you forgot what happened in the first Squid Games, I'm gonna just tell you this: the recap, if you're watching it, the recap is essential. Like, don't skip that recap. Don't skip that recap. But um one thing I'll say though is that as quick as I went through these 7 episodes, right? And this one was a little bit shorter than the first season, but as quick as I went through these 7 episodes, they are saying that a season three apparently is coming out in 2025, and it's going to conclude the series. So season three is going to be the last season, and season three is supposed to be more like a part two to season two as opposed to like a brand new season, because the way they ended it, we'll get into that. The way they ended it definitely lends itself to like, okay, we need to continue on as opposed to like make it a whole brand new thing, right? Hold on one second, y'all. One second. Hold on. All right, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. All right, so first, what I want to talk about, really, again with season three, apparently there was some type of leak where Netflix accidentally revealed the actual date. So don't quote me on this, but apparently it's this new season is supposed to come out in like June 25th of 2025. So it'll be like 6 months. So that's what pisses me off because it's like, all right, you make us wait 3 seasons and then but you already had this third one ready to go and you could release that in 6 months. So that's why it feels like a part two of season two as opposed to a brand new season because we've seen that before. Like when they did Ozark, when I think they made like 16 episodes and then they decided to do a part one, part two, and they dropped it. It was like literally just a couple months later. So pretty excited about that. But with Squid Games, man, one thing I want to talk about is the storytelling of Squid Games, right? Because obviously this is spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you have not seen Squid Game 2 and you want to see Squid Games, I would just fast forward and you could check the chapters on the channel. You could check the chapters and you can like skip to the next part, whatever. But also just real quick, I don't know if I said it. If you're new to the channel, I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share the content, leave a comment below, right? Especially if you saw Squid Games. But anyway, back to the show. So we're gonna talk about the storytelling a little bit, and I'm gonna talk about what worked for me and what I thought didn't work. Right. So first, I really like how they built up this season to make us feel like these people really had a chance of getting out. Like I really love that they did that. I love that they did that. Um, you got player 456, right? He got that team on the outside. He got the boy, the front man's brother who got shot. Like he got him on his team, and he got mad money to spend. So he got bread to do whatever he wants in terms of investigating. So he's on a mission, right? He's on a mission. He got his real friend on the inside, right? And then it's this aspect of like the game is a little bit different than last time. So one thing about the game is that, and I remember there was a vote, there might have been a vote or two the first time, but it might only happen like once or twice. But this game, this version of Squid Games, they try to be a little bit more democratic in the process, and they're giving a vote after every single game. So like I said, the first season I think we did see a vote, but it was very seldom. So like again, they're building up this idea that like, yo, these people might actually get out, like they might get out this time, whatever. So it feels good almost like you're optimistic and you're like, all right, yeah, no, he knows what's going on. He know, especially because the first game was the very same game. It was that red light, green light. So I'm thinking like, oh, my man is about to breeze through this, and like this is about to be a season about really taking over, right? So I love that. I love that. Another thing I think that worked with the show was I liked how the characters. I like what they did with the characters and the backstories of the characters. I think they really gave us some really complex dilemmas for this season, and for why these people were in the Squid Game in the first place, right? Right. We had that like for example, we have like an influencer, a self-made like millionaire in crypto, an influencer, and how basically he defrauded people, and then you got like so many people in there that are like his victims, right? So, because if we know about Squid Games, they're playing for all this money. I think it's supposed to be like, uh, and we're gonna talk about this real quick. But yeah, I think it's supposed to be 45.6 billion won, right? So remember this is a Korean show, so it's a Korean currency. So let's talk about that currency real quick. So, I would hate to live in a country to where they use current. So when we talk about currency and the numbers are so big and so inflated because these people are like, what? Only 80 million? Like I can't do nothing with that. And I'm thinking like, yo, what kind of currency is won, right? So I started doing some calculations, right? So each person, right, um, is supposed to get, well, no, matter of fact, the total is 45.6 billion won, right? Billion won. So because there's 456 players, and I think every player is worth 100 million won. Yo, 40 and I'm not this is still a lot of money, but 45.6 billion won, I did the equivalent. It's the equivalent of 30 million dollars. So this man won 30 million dollars the first time he went to the Squid Games. And like my man still got a bunch of cash. Like if you see this the one scene where he's like it's just like in a cube, bro, and he just like barely takes some money out of it whenever he needs it, whatever. So like he got bread. But when like people are talking about like 800 million and things like that, and it's like or 80 million, like and then you do the equivalent, it's like 20,000 or 25,000, and so you're like, all right, maybe I wouldn't do certain things for that, but if my life was on the line and I saw a bunch of people, I ain't gonna hold you. If I saw a bunch of people, if I was forced to play a game and I survived the first game, I don't care what debt I have. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how desperate I am. I think I'm getting out of that game because I'm like, yo, this shit ain't worth it, bro. Like, I had to play red light, green light for my life. And like, what if you were one of those people that got cheated? Because like this season, it's funny because they was not trying to listen to my man 456. Now, I don't know if I would listen to him either, but like this guy, he seemed like he knew what he was talking about. He didn't reveal that he was there before, but yeah, that opening scene, that opening game, they were not really with it all the way. And you're just like wondering, like, yo, bro. Like obviously that's the dramatic irony because it's like we know that he was in this game, and you're just like, yo, y'all better listen to him. Y'all better listen to him. But like seeing how some of them people died on red light, green light, where like other people was falling into them, and it's like, bro, I'm getting shot to death in the head because you fell on my leg, bro. Like and you obviously tipped me over and made me fall. So that joint was crazy. That joint was crazy. But um yeah, so yeah, you had that. So the characters are complex, right? I said you have that crypto influencer, fraudster. You have a mother and a son working to pay off the same debts. Like that's crazy. Like imagine like you in there because you desperate, you trying to pay off debts, but then your mom's also put herself in the game to help you out. Right. So that was a wild dynamic, a father son being in there. Um, you had what else did we have? We had a pregnant woman, and then we had her baby daddy in there, right? Even the fact that 456 found his real friend in there, like that was crazy. You had a lot of different characters. You had an ex-Marine, they had a, you know what I mean, LGBT, they had a they them up in there, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, definitely like they was blurring the lines. And definitely it felt very modernized, even to the point where in the beginning, when these people don't realize like where they're at, they want their phone so they could take a selfie, and they want their phone so they could check their crypto and things like that. Even though all these people was dead broke, like all these people were dead broke and desperate, right? So yeah, it was good. It was good. You also had, yeah, this season also featured players sneaking in contraband. Like we didn't see that in the first season. We did not see that in the first season. So and these people did not know about the games. Even 456 didn't even work to like try to get no contraband up in there. But we had the lady, she had her fucking shank from her like hair thing. This guy, rap god Thanos, my man brought drugs in there. My man had some whole pills up in there and was getting high the whole time, right? So definitely like changing things up and like trying to make it more entertaining. So like they definitely turned it up in this season, right? Um, but yeah, so I really enjoyed that. But then we're gonna talk about another thing that I think that worked, but also I think they could have did a little bit better was this cliff. So it's a cliffhanger ending. It's a cliffhanger ending. Um, but my thing is this, right? It was a cliffhanger, but it wasn't a cliffhanger, right? So my thing is, if we weren't going to get a conclusion, right, to what was going to happen, I think it would have been best to write the episode in a way where it ends once these players start their revolt. So basically, 456, right? He wins the game, he gets his team, whatever, but his mission is to go back into the game and he's trying to stop the game, right? Like that's his whole mission. It's not even just to beat it, it's to stop it. So once they get so far and all these people are realizing like, yo, maybe we should call it quits, right? Because these votes that they have votes and stuff like that about and they get pretty violent. But eventually he convinces these people to like, yo, let's fight it. He convinces a group of them to fight against it, right? But my thing is like, all right, when they start the revolt, it should have stopped once they got the guns. Once they got the guns from the guards, I think it should have been like black screen, boom. Cause then it would have been like, oh, what they about to do? What are they about to do to these people? They got the guns now. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? You know what I'm saying? So like it would have been exciting if they would have stopped it right there. But like, no, they gave us a whole shootout scene. They gave us, they gave us some betrayal. They gave us a lot of stuff, and then like they ended it when basically like boy gets caught. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking like, that's good, but like a bigger cliffhanger would have been like stopping it once the unrest or once the uprising started, because then it would have been like, yo, what the fuck are they about to do? Like, what are they about to do? So now, because now it feels a lot more hopeless. It feels a lot more hopeless now going into season three because we know that they're outnumbered. We know that they have the guns. We know that the front man, because yeah, now the front man is a character, and we're gonna talk about that in a second here. But we know that he switched back sides, so it's like it doesn't feel like they're gonna get out of there. I really had a thought that like the way the season was progressing, like they were actually gonna get out, and then when they don't, whatever. So my thing is this too. Just a question about what worked and what didn't work. Why didn't they develop? There was conflict amongst the guards, and that was something that they did different this year. Like, so we actually see the guards a little bit more, and you have this like female guard who's kind of getting harassed by these like male guards, and I don't know. It kind of felt like they was trying to get a little rapey a little bit, but they don't go there. They don't take it there. They just kind of like mess with her a little bit, but like I feel like they started an interesting storyline with that, and then they kind of got away from it at the end, right? So I'm wondering where we're headed with that, and if we're gonna see these characters a little bit more in season three. But I got questions, man. I got questions. I got questions, and I want to know what y'all think about these things, whatever. But I got questions about the plot and the story and things like that. So first, what's going on with the captain? The captain of the ship, right? Who is he working for? And when did he ultimately get compromised? Because obviously he was working with 456, right? Well, no, he wasn't working with 456. He was working with the cop guy. So like, is he the cop's friend? Is he betraying the cop? And when did that take place? Because we see the chef. So because we talk about 456, right? And I don't. Here's the thing, man. I ain't about to say these people's names and mess them up, because a lot of these names is very similar, and the syllables I'll get them mixed up and stuff like that. But anyway, um, but yeah, 456, right? He has his team on the outside, and they're trying to kind of like break into the game, I guess, and try to like infiltrate from the outside. But like how did that man start working for the other side? I don't know, because he kind of betrays them towards the end of that episode, or yeah, in the end of like somewhere in the finale, you see that he killed somebody, and then we're wondering like, yo, when did he get on some crazy stuff? Because he's trying to tinker with the drone, like I guess he's trying to sabotage the drone, but it's weird. Another question I have is that character that played the Marine, right? He was a pivotal character because he helped 456 and his little group. He helped them get to through quite a few games, but then when it came down to them shooting guns, my man he said he was a Marine. And then how did my man do such a 180? Like, what happened to him? Was he really just like did he really just have like a desk job? Did he ever fight? Did he ever do any combat fighting or anything like that? Because he definitely looked out of place, and he looked very shook, you know what I'm saying, when he was in that setting. So I'm just wondering like, how did he do such a 180? And then I got a question. How the hell did the front man infiltrate into the game? Because we see him in the first game. In the first game, we saw him playing. We saw him watching red light, green light, right? It's not until they do the vote and then it's the last person to vote, right? And it's 456, right? Or no, it's not 456. It's player one, and we see player one's face, and we're like, yo, that's the front man dude, whatever. So like, how the hell did he get into the game, right? So how did he get into the game? And then it was weird because there was a scene where his people obviously, like, by the end, his people seemed to know that he was in there because of what he said on the walkie-talkie. He said, "All right, let's wrap this thing up." Right? So like they knew what time it was, right? But when the one kid that was like one of the guards, when he saw him, he looked shocked and surprised and like almost like, "Oh my God, like what is he doing?" And he killed that dude, whatever, to shut him up. So I'm thinking like, who knew? Did only some of his people know that he was in the game? What it was, but I cannot wait till season three. We can get into a lot more, but I think I covered the whole show without really getting too much into detail. But like we know that there's an uprising, and basically they get stopped, and now we're kind of at a hopeless place going into season three. So we'll see how it all turns out though. But go check that out, man. If you haven't watched Squid Game, go watch Squid Game Part Two, man. Season two. All right, let's move on, man. Let's move on, man. So, yo, man. This is one, yo. Stop playing with me, man. This is probably one of the, like, we're talking about 2024. Let's keep it all the way a buck. They snapped in the fourth quarter of 2024 because they started releasing mad fire movies. I've been at the movie theater. I feel like I've been at the movie theater, man. I seen Gladiator 2. Obviously, I never seen Wicked, but Wicked came out. Moana 2 came out. But the movies the two main movies I wanted to see in 2024, especially at the end, was Gladiator 2 and Mufasa, the Lion King. Now, I'm gonna admit this, right? So I remember it was a month or two ago, right? They telling me I'm seeing on social media, they getting into it. They getting into it, right? And they talking about like what the plot of this new Lion King is. And I ain't gonna hold you, man. They painted it to where Mufasa could be a bad guy, basically saying like he took Scar's throne and stuff like that. So coming into the movie, I ain't gonna lie, I was really misled by about the plot, right? It made it feel like, Mufasa stole it, or he disrupted like the natural ascension for Scar. And I really did think that, like, wow, we about to get a villain origin story, or we're about to get a story that kind of redeems Scar and makes him like, yo, was he really supposed to be the king? I'm glad. I'm gonna tell you right now. Spoiler alert. The movie is the complete opposite. Whoever said that Mufasa was a bad guy, whoever said that he stole Scar's throne is a liar. Is a lot. Do not listen to them. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Mufasa did not steal nothing, bro. He earned that shit. He earned that shit. So this is what I gotta say about this movie. This is probably one of the best prequel stories, one of the best prequels I've ever seen. It was so good. This prequel was so good. It felt like we were cheated as children, and this should be the original Lion King story. That's how good this prequel was. This is the original story. Like the Lion King almost makes no sense without this story. Like I'm talking about when we was kids. Like, why did they show us that? Why didn't they make the first movie about Mufasa? Why didn't they make that? Because it makes more sense. Mufasa, the Lion King. He's revered and remembered in the what we know as the Lion King. But like this, like I want like this should have been animated first. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, yeah, again, one of the best prequel stories I've ever seen. So good that this should be the original Lion King story. And I gotta admit, I did not like the first like real live action Lion King. I didn't like it that much. And so I gotta say, the absence of, because Donald Glover was in it for a second, Beyonce was in it for a second, but the absence of them for most of the movie was a breath of fresh air. Like, oh my God, like I like yo. Even when I heard Beyonce's voice at the end, I was just like, oh my God. Like I was rolling my eyes. I was like, oh my God, she just oh my God. Like I love Beyonce, man, but her acting is just not it, bro. Like, and her voice is too. It's just it's too memorable. Like it's like every role that she ever plays in, she's playing herself. Like she's just playing Beyonce, and like you can do that if you're a great actor. So like Denzel Washington does it, but he's also Denzel Washington. Clint Eastwood, somebody like he does it, but he's Clint Eastwood. But like Beyonce, she just don't. Nah, bro. Like it's not it. It's not it. But anyway, the movie, I just gotta say, the movie looked beautiful, man. Like the CGI, all the graphic, all that stuff was amazing, right? It looked beautiful. The lions were majestic, and they just I felt like they was jumping out at the screen. Like it looked the movie looked amazing. I feel like they picked a great villain. So there's these like white lions in there that like look crazy and look mean and stuff and big. But the main one, his name was Kiros, and I thought he was a great villain. And those white lions were no joke. You know what I'm saying? Um, I was waiting and wondering when Scar would basically get his name. However, I gotta say, man, Scar is the same character that he was in the first Lion King. Scar was a coward and a shiesty guy in the original. And basically, what we learn is that he comes from a father who is also a coward and a shiesty guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a coward and a shiesty guy. He had a whole father. His father was bitching the whole time, like, "Oh no, we don't let strangers in. We don't let strangers in." No, and granted, I get trying to protect your kingdom. No, the reason why he didn't want no strangers in is because he didn't want no smoke. He didn't want to have to defend his throne. Like his dad was nobody. And also in this movie, Scar, we learn his real name. His real name is Taka. His real name is Taka. And what yeah, his dad's name started with like a O or something like that. But anyway, but yeah, his dad was a cat like Taka, Scar's dad. Scar was so Scar does come from a royal bloodline. He does come from a royal bloodline. Like his dad was the king, and then he was next up. However, this was a whole pride of lions that ain't never been tested though. Like all them lions was pussy. You know what I'm saying? Now the way Mufasa comes into the picture is that basically he's like an orphan. He gets washed away in a flood and he loses his parents and like he gets found and at first, Scar's dad, Taka's dad, did not want to let him in because he was like, oh, he's an outsider, he's a stray. And he was shitting on Mufasa the whole movie, the whole time that he was in there. And you're just hoping that Mufasa finds his people, whatever. But like once you see that, all right, he's gonna be growing up with this guy. It's like okay, like all right, Scar, Taka was like, he had some redeeming qualities, whatever. But like then as the movie progressed, you like, nah, you a bitch too, bro. Like you bitch made just like your father. And I see why you was acting like I don't well really I don't know why you was acting like this in Lion King because you had no reason to be acting like none of your actions are justified at all. One of the things that I had to that I wondered was why did Scar feel that he was promised to Sarabi? First of all, Sarabi was not a part of his pride at all. You know what I'm saying? And Scar, basically his entire bloodline. Like, by the time he meets Sarabi, and by the time like they about to start a new kingdom and stuff like that, all of Scar's family's dead. Mufasa don't know where his family is, and Sarabi, which is Simba's mom, right? Like that's I mean, think about Sarabi and Mufasa. Sarabi is an orphan as well, whatever. So like Scar should like I don't know why he felt he was promised to Sarabi. So basically he has a crush on her and he thinks like yo he likes her, but Sarabi is feeling Mufasa because Mufasa is the one getting stuff done. He's the brave one. He's the one who saved her life. And then we see Scar's jealousy, or Taka's jealousy, and then basically he decides to throw Mufasa under the bus, and he leads the villains to Mufasa and by the end of the movie. So it was kind of crazy. But one of the themes though in this movie that really stood out to me just was this idea that like yo nothing nothing is truly promised to you. Nothing is truly promised to you, and then everything is better when you earn it, right? So that's my takeaway from this movie because although yes, if he still had his family, then Taka, aka Scar, would have a natural claim to the throne. But this whole idea that Mufasa stole his claim, he did not steal his claim. He did not. He no longer had a claim. They were even if he looked at Mufasa as a subordinate because they were like quote unquote brothers. Well, I mean, your brother's about to start his own family. You could start your own family, but like you don't get all the bitches. Like you don't. That's a wild thing. It's like you think you supposed to get all the cats? You supposed to get all the cat out here? No, you don't get all the cat. You know what I'm saying? Just because of your namesake, whatever. No, 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 no. It's first come, first serve. You know what I'm saying? And you wasn't the big cat on the land. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, man, it was beautiful. I loved I loved the ending. I love that Mufasa ultimately was able to find his mother, and that's what made it look like, all right, no, actually you do have a claim because because Mufasa's dad was also a king, right? You know what I'm saying? He was also the leader of his own pride. So it's like, all right, you got his mom, and now you got Mufasa, and then you got this. Now he got his woman Sarabi, and then Scar, had to tuck his tail, and he pretty much begged Mufasa to kind of keep him alive, and Mufasa, because he has a good heart, he kept him alive. But I really wish he would have just got him out of here, man. Um, Great movie. Like I said, I like these live action. I do like some of these live action ones. This one with animals, it's not too bad when they talk and things like that. It was dope. I ain't gonna hold. I want to see it again. I don't even be like that for movies for real. Like I'm a lot of times with movies, I'm like a one and done. Nah, bro, I want to see that joint again. But I seen it in theater. It was dope, man. It was dope. So if you haven't seen Mufasa the Lion King, I'm telling you, high key, low key, it's better than original Lion King. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like it's a sequel, but this is a prequel. You know what I'm saying? The story itself is better. It's a better story. I don't care what nobody say. But um, go check that out, man, with your kids, man. They gonna love it. I'm telling you, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. If they have any adults, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. If you love Lion King, which Lion King is like the number one Disney movie ever. Like I don't care what nobody says. Other than Pixar movies, Lion King's number one. If you like Lion King, you're gonna love Mufasa, man. So check that out. All right, man. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. Let's move on. All right, man. So this is a big topic here, and it's getting a lot of headlines, and it's a lot of different things going on. A lot of different things going on. So what we know is this. All right. So I got to read off some things. I want to play something first. So let me play this IG like little recap of what we're about to talk about, and it's the Joy Taylor thing. It's really let's not call it the Joy Taylor thing. It's the Skip Bayless, Charlie Dixon, Fox lawsuit. Um, Joy Taylor is named, but she's not. She's small fry. She's small potatoes in all this, man. She don't really matter in the whole scheme of things. But let me share this screen here real quick for y'all, and then we're gonna get into it. So this guy's gonna give us a recap, and then I'm gonna give us some more detail, and then we're gonna get into the nuance of it and break it down a little bit. Okay, okay, okay. All right, here we go. All right, let's share the screen here. Oh, I gotta make sure that our audio can be shared. All right. So here we go. So this is a quick overview of what's going on here. But we're gonna get a little deeper. All right.
I typically stay away from this gossip stuff. I purposely chose to not cover this Travis Hunter girlfriend situation because they're kids. But this Joy Taylor and Skip lawsuit,
Take me out, it's my turn! You told me it was my turn!
I felt compelled to say something because of Jay-Z and his particular statement to his lawsuit that was filed a few months ago. He demanded the accuser to reveal their identity. This hairstylist put her name on it. So let's walk through it real quick. I'll start with Skip, but I won't take too much time. Skip Bayless has been a sports commentator and TV personality for a very long time, although he's been most famous as of late for making Shannon take off his glasses.
What are you talking about?
You would take a person.
Put your glasses back on.
This hairstylist allegedly said Skip offered her 1.5 for Mr. Nasty time. In that same lawsuit, she mentions that Joy Taylor, another sports commentator, essentially slept her way to the top. This roster included Emmanuel Acho and Charlie Dixon, the executive vice president of content for Fox Sports. Again, allegedly. This situation is still very fluid. All I keep thinking about is Cat Williams' true statement.
It's all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter whoever you is. All lies will be exposed. That's all. Anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Now, I typically stay away.
All right, all right. So I ain't gonna lie. So the claim that did Joy Taylor sleep her way to the top, I would say, based on what we know, yes, I would say she did do that, but that's not even the head. Like that's not even the headline, though. Like, yes, it's the juicy part. It's because Joy Taylor is fine. Like Joy Taylor looked man good. You know what I'm saying? And it is wild. She's one of those few female. She's probably one of the best looking female sports analyst commentators out there, right? And so like we look at her and I think a lot of times we kind of empower her because she don't sound dumb when she talks. Like she don't give bad takes to things. And I think, for a little bit it seemed like she was one of the guys a little bit. You know what I mean? Like she kind of got respect, you know what I mean, because she was very attractive, but also she seemed like this really down to earth person. And it felt like she did get out the mud. We're learning quickly that she did not maybe get out the mud, but also I'm not gonna say it's okay. I'm not gonna say it's okay because again, she does something, and we're gonna get into what she does. She does something that's really fucked up in this situation. But like in terms of like legally, I don't think there's gonna be too much for this lady to stand on. But let's kind of get into this analysis a little bit. I actually want to pull up the document so I can kind of read the actual complaint here. So, all right. So here's the thing. This is what we gotta understand. So this is partly a class action suit, right? You know what I mean? So anybody that has been like that hasn't been paid by Fox, and so there's a class action aspect, and then there's actual individual complaints that are tied to people, right? So when it comes to the class action, it's all about it's all like wrongful termination stuff and Fox not paying what they should pay. But it's failure to pay minimum wages, failure to pay overtime, failure to reimburse, failure to pay all wages upon separation, failure to furnish accurate itemized wage statements, right? Unfair and unlawful and fraudulent business practices, right? So that's like the big business part of it, whatever. But then this lady, her name is Nushin Faraji. So for the purpose of this and to make it easier, I'm gonna just refer to this lady as Faraji throughout this whole little thing here. Right. But in terms of her individual claims, right? Complaints, sexual battery, hostile work environment, based on sex or gender, hostile work environment based on race or national origin, hostile work environment because of her disability, failure to prevent harassment, negligent supervision, hiring, and retention. So basically, HR being wild, and that then again that they're a big part of this. Retaliation and then wrongful termination, right? And it says demand for jury trial. So here it says here, um it says this is a summary of action. It says Miss Faraji brings forth this action because for over a decade at Fox, she was forced to endure misogynistic, racist, and ableist workplace where executives and talent were allowed to physically and verbally abuse workers with impunity. When Miss Faraji and others came forward to report the wrongdoing, instead of addressing their concern, Fox retaliated against them, while the perpetrators and those who protected them were inexplicably promoted. This case thus represents yet another in a long line of cases chronicling the toxic culture at Fox, marked by bad faith promises and repeated failures to address a poisonous and entrenched patriarchy. So the part where it's like, it's like, where it says this, protected and inexplicably promoted. That's where kind of Joy Taylor kind of comes into place, whatever. But there's a couple. Um, everybody been like really digging into this, right? And there were actually some people, via Twitter that was finding some of these. Yeah. There were some people on Twitter that was actually finding some of these complaints here. So these are some of the things that like really stood out to people. All right. So I'm gonna share the screen here for this, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna dive into it a little bit deeper. All right, so this is the claim that so there's a guy named Mr. Charlie Dixon. So again, we saw the video, right? So the guy Charlie Dixon, he's like basically the top executive, at least of what they're doing at FS1. So this is a claim that Mr. Dixon groped this hair, and this lady is a hairdresser, so groped her after putting her on Undisputed. So it says here on January 14th, 2017, Miss Taylor had her birthday at Pearl's Rooftop in West Hollywood. Miss Faraji and other Fox employees who were invited to attend as it was part of their job duties to appease talent, and a birthday party is an important event. As usual, Mr. Dixon was heavily drinking, buying drinks for everyone on the Fox credit card, and blustering that everything purchased was on Fox's dime. As Miss Faraji was standing near the bar, facing the crowd, Mr. Dixon approached her. He asked the bartender for a drink and then placed his arm around Faraji's lower back. He asked how she was doing, if she was having fun, if she wanted a tequila shot. Miss Faraji felt very uncomfortable by his unsolicited touching and responded, "No, thank you." Mr. Dixon then moved his hand lower and started rubbing her body and grabbing her buttocks. So that's the sexual, you know what I mean? That's the sexual, you know what I mean, battery, I guess, her being groped. Miss Faraji was mortified but quickly thought to fake an incoming call to escape the situation. Miss Faraji did not know who to turn to, but as she knew Miss Taylor was sleeping with Mr. Dixon, she turned to her. Surprisingly, Miss Taylor responded, "Get over it." Right. So this is where, again, she didn't feel protected. She felt like she went to somebody and they kind of overlooked it. Get over it and explain that she herself only had her job because of Mr. Dixon, and that Miss Faraji only had her job because Miss Taylor requested her. She wanted she warned that Mr. Dixon could take both away. Ms. Faraji was terrified and then turned to her coworker Anonymous to discuss the situation. Anonymous responded that Mr. Dixon was disgusting and the entire situation was sick, but that it wasn't shocking given Fox's culture, and that Ms. Faraji should remain quiet if she wanted to keep her job. As a single mother who needed to support her son, Ms. Faraji had no choice but to remain silent. So that was the one claim. And then there's another claim here. So basically, just in the sense of this, right? Um, they're establishing, and so matter of fact, I'm gonna get into it, but let's read this. It says, just verbatim, Mr. Dixon gets rid of a female talent member for refusing to have sex with him. So this is the culture. This is her establishing the culture. That's why she's talking about this. But several years after Miss Faraji's tenure at Fox, a female talent member, Anonymous, hired Miss Faraji to do her hair at her house for an award show. Anonymous asked that Miss Faraji meet her for lunch first. There, Anonymous told Faraji that she would no longer be with Fox, as Mr. Dixon told her she would need to have sex with him if she wanted to renew her contract, but she had refused. Anonymous further conveyed that, one, Mr. Dixon was doing this to other women talent, right? So that's Joy Taylor, right? She should warn Two, she should warn Miss Taylor to be careful. And three, a talk show host had recently reported Mr. Dixon. Following the lunch, Miss Faraji called Miss Taylor to convey what Anonymous had stated. Miss Taylor responded that no one gives a fuck about Anonymous or the talk show host who had reported Mr. Dixon. Miss Faraji later observed that Miss Taylor's remarks appeared accurate, as no actions were taken to address the concerns raised. If it was not already apparent, it became even more clear that Fox enabled high ranking individuals to abuse their authority, exerting undue control over female talent and their employees. Wow. I got one more to really share here. Yeah. One or two more. So here's another one. Um oh no, I don't want that. I want this one. Can we get it bigger? All right. So this one, this is a claim. Hold on. Let me unshare the screen real quick. Let me see if I can get that bigger. There we go. Okay. I should have just clicked one time. All I had to do is click one time instead. All right, here we go. This one. So again, she was telling Joy about what's going on, and then basically Joy was like, yo, don't fuck, yeah, like, yo, don't worry about what she got to say. I mean, nobody cares. Get her like this kind of like she's basically maybe grooming. Maybe some people would say she's grooming her, or just like basically just showing her that this is part of the workplace, and like she just didn't do nothing. This woman wanted help, and like Joy was basically just kind of like girl, this is the game, and like was accepting of it. But probably because she was involved in certain things. All right, so here, Miss Taylor again uses her sexuality to get on a show. So this is the part where everybody's eating this part up. This is where everybody's eating this up. So it says in approximately February of 2020, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Acho. Everybody knows Emmanuel Acho. Miss Faraji did not know Mr. Acho, but could tell that the two were romantically involved. A few months after meeting Mr. Acho at the lunch, Miss Faraji noticed him in the hallway while at work. Miss Faraji later asked Miss Taylor if Mr. Acho also worked at Fox. Miss Taylor confirmed and explained that she warned Mr. Acho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself. Miss Faraji became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become very angry. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself onto her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent, right? So there is another claim. I think this might be, and this is where people just making jokes like, "Dang, yo, Joy was letting anybody hit, bro." Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So, and this is the last one we're gonna read, and then we're gonna get into it. So, um, so that's where, but I'm gonna just rewind a second. I'm gonna address that last thing. But that's where Joy. That's probably the worst thing that Joy did was, um, yeah, that last thing that she did, where she said basically said like she had a consensual relationship with this guy, Mr. Dixon, and her claim that like, oh well, once I get what I want, I'm gonna lie on him and tell him that he forced himself. So that's where her ethics are in the toilet for sure. But and also having sex to get what you want, whatever. But let's keep going. This is the claim that Skip Bayless offered her $1.5 million to have sex with her. So it says. And this is like a continuation of something, but it says instead, Mr. Bayless became more aggressive over the years. According to the suit, he allegedly offered Faraji 1.5 million to have sex with him and claimed he could change her life. The suit also claims Bayless accused Faraji of sleeping with Shannon Sharp, his co-star on Undisputed. It's crazy because he called Shannon Sharp his arch rival. But anyway, as the suit alleges, approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance at Miss Faraji. Miss Faraji responded, "Skip, stop. You have a wife." Mr. Bayless responded, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have three to four wives?" Miss Faraji responded that her father was dead. And when Mr. Bayless looked taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. Okay. So let's so there's a lot. There's a lot of information there, but let's start to break this stuff down though, man. So this is where I want to go with it. All right. So I gave you the details of the lawsuit, but here's the thing. So we got a couple of different defendants. So the main defendant is Fox though. It's Charlie Dixon and then it's Skip Bayless. Like these are the people and institutions that like that's who did the wrongdoing stuff. Like that's where we're getting the sexual battery. That's where we're getting the hostile work environment based on gender. That's where we're getting um basically like the wrongful termination because she was fired. Ultimately she was fired by Mr. Dixon, and it was like wrongful, but also the hiring practices. It seemed like they were only letting her be around because Skip wanted her to be around, you know what I'm saying? So like it was just a lot of unethical and weird stuff going on for her, and she kind of felt trapped. To me, I'm wondering like, yo, how much the hairdressers on a TV show, they must make a lot of money because she was there for over a decade, and all this stuff was happening for almost the whole time. So it's like, and she kept talking about how she was a single mother. Well, they must pay handsomely to where she knew that she could not make that money elsewhere. She knew that she could not make that money doing hair for herself or for other clients. So this was the best bet. But anyway, um, I was Joy Taylor though is actually she's a secondary defendant, and what do you know? She's going after Joy Taylor not because she slept with this guy Charlie Dixon, not because she slept with Emmanuel Acho. Like so, that's the part that don't matter. She's actually going after Joy Taylor for racial discrimination and they call it like disability discrimination. Like basically, she's like an ableist and she's making fun of her. Um, Skip Bayless, though, like if we just break down, Skip Bayless is he's being accused of being a nasty ass old man, right? Just in general, and it's super nasty if he really offered her $1.5 million. So, just to get some ass, and Faraji, like she claims that like Skip advances did not stop for years. Like he kept going hard, he kept going hard, kept going hard, kept going hard. In terms of Joy's involvement, in terms of her involvement, the plaintiff. This is what I have to say. I think to prove that Charlie Dixon was doing this stuff and had weird practices to kind of prove the stuff about Skip, she kind of had to use Joy Taylor and what she had kind of going on in her own life, and basically she exposes Joy Taylor. And again, we do learn some weird stuff about Joy Taylor, but like her having sex with Emmanuel Acho is none of our business. You know what I mean? They are co-workers for the most part. I would say they're co-workers. They're on the same level. Even her having sex with Charlie Dixon, I mean, I would say that's not great. You know what I mean, it's unethical. She was cheating on her at the time husband, and he was obviously cheating on her wife. So definitely unethical, but also at the same time, it's none of our business. Now, if she was having sex because she was promised these shows and like that's what she was doing, and she was like basically kind of turning a blind eye when they were harassing other women, that's also wrong too. That's also wrong. But basically, I feel like she used Joy's story to establish the unprofessional behavior at Fox, right? To explain how HR and employee relations protected the executives at Fox and ignored the complaints of harassment, right? So I read this whole document. It was 42 pages. I read this whole joint because I wanted to understand what the whole hype was about. And again, I kind of wanted to know what Joy Taylor's involvement was. And what I gather was it's not the same as what everybody else is kind of looking at it like. So that's my part. That's my disconnect there. Um, Joy was having like, and the thing is, it's this is alleged, but like I do believe Joy was having sexual relations with this guy Charlie Dixon and Acho. Um, I think overall though, the reason why Joy is named in this is because she did start to treat this girl Faraji, Nusin Faraji. She started to kind of treat her bad, and she wanted to get rid of her. But ultimately, this is what I think. I think that um I think Joy was annoyed by Faraji's like constant warnings about sleeping with the men at Fox, right? So I think maybe Joy was on some shit like, bro, like girl, get off your high horse, mind your business. I think Joy felt that this girl knew too much and felt that she was maybe expendable because she felt like she had a little bit more power and that she could kind of get this girl out of here so like she wouldn't run her mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, this lady knew a lot. She knows a lot because she's documenting 10 years, really like 12 years worth of stuff that this company has been doing. So I think Joy Taylor was kind of annoyed by her and she was trying to get her out of here because she was like, yo, you might fuck up what I got going on. Um, so this is where, but in terms of like how does that relate to like discrimination? Well, this will happen. So as you know, as things are going on, then Joy started complaining about her as a hairdresser. So this lady was doing Joy's hair for like 7 years straight. And then out of nowhere, Joy started making comments. And she started saying, like, oh, I need a black hairdresser. And she started complaining about her. So this lady, Miss Faraji, she is suing Joy Taylor because she says that she discriminated her against her because of race. Now, that's where I'm thinking, like, all right, Joy Taylor did some weird shit when she lied, when she said like, "Yo, I'm a lie on Charlie Dixon," and basically say that our relationship was not consensual. That's the worst thing that Joy Taylor did. But like, if a black woman wants a black hairstylist, I feel like you should be allowed to say that. You should be allowed to express that. But I think all these other things make that look worse, whatever. The other thing was where Miss Faraji is claiming that people were like basically discriminating on her because of her disability. Well, she has diagnosed PTSD. And with her diagnosed PTSD, she hums. She hums a lot. Like that's her like coping mechanism. And I think she does it so much that she don't even realize that she's doing it. And anytime she would complain to HR about stuff like that, they would come back to her with something. They're like, yo, what's up with all this humming that you're doing? Like, yo, they don't like it. I mean, you gotta stop, whatever. And basically Joy Taylor, like, I guess she made a big deal about it, about the humming and that she wants her to stop. And so that's again, that's another thing where that's what she's accusing Joy of. Like, oh, I got fired. I lost my job because you was discriminating on me because I have a disability and because you didn't want an Persian or Arab hairdresser. You want a black hairdresser. Like that's discrimination. Which that part I'm like, that's a little bit of a reach. Legally, I don't think there's much against Joy. But like I said earlier, her ethics are definitely in the toilet. She's not, I think Joy got exposed in the sense of like she's not the best example of like powerful black woman, independent, hardworking. She doesn't exemplify black girl magic, type stuff like that. And I think it's unfortunate because like again, I think a lot of us we like how she looks, but like I think she had a lot of respect. I mean, there's a lot of girls, a lot of women, black women, like the one girl Andrews on ESPN. Nobody likes her. Nobody likes her. So it's like Joy Taylor was actually like she got a lot of respect from guys and stuff like that. And I think anytime now, what's gonna happen is the long-standing effect is that anytime now we see women in sports media, the first thing that we're gonna think is that she was having sex with these guys. You know what I mean? Like that's the first thing. Whether it's a joke, whether it's subconscious, whether it's very very blatant, that's the first impression that we're gonna get. Anytime we see a woman on the sideline, being a sideline reporter, a woman that's an anchor on a show, we're gonna think like, yo, which one of these do? Because before we might have thought that, but we might also thought like, nah, ain't nobody. Like, come on, man. But no, like we're gonna be thinking like, yo, who smashed that? And like, bro, when they showed the picture of that Charlie Dixon dude, I'm like, bro, Joy Taylor don't got no pics, bro. Like I mean, she'll mess with anybody. Um, but I think it's the fact that she planned to accuse Charlie Dixon of foul play and harassment, and even though after she got what she wanted, and I don't know, she thought that was like some type of like power move, but like that was like ultimate low character move. And if it is true, because this is at the moment, this obviously is one side. If this is true, It's not looking good for her. It's not looking good for her. It's crazy, man, because when you read a document though like this, I ain't gonna lie, the way it's written, you feel it's all true. Like you know what I mean? One, if man, that's what I'm saying, man. I need to, if I ever got an argument with somebody, I need to, or I'm trying to say somebody did something, I need to lay it out like that. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime you read them Jones, it's like, oh no, dang, this probably happened. This probably happened because it's very objective. There's not a lot of emotion into it other than quotes. It's like you'd be like, dang, this is what happened. And yeah, so it made me like think like automatically, oh, this lady's 100% correct. Maybe she's mistaken, but it's too detailed to be like, oh no, I don't think so. So we'll see where it goes, man. But Joy Taylor, man, you still look good, but like, yeah, you gonna have to sit down. And I think a lot of people are appalled or like taken aback because they feel like, because yeah, these shows be live. Like these are current event shows. Like the show that was on Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Those happen on those days. Now they might have happened like hours and hours before, but like these are daily shows, and Joy Taylor's still on the screen, and like people are looking at it like, they probably should get her off of there because if it was a man and he was accused of anything like this or anything in this realm, he would be chastised and suspended and all that. So I think there are a lot of men that's looking for some balance. I think the headline is a little bit too much on Joy Taylor and not enough about Skip Bayless. I mean, I didn't even talk enough about Skip Bayless, but like, yo, when you read that document, yo, Skip was thirsty, bro. Like, and the fact that he was like jealous and he was like on some, and everybody keep using that clip where he says, "It was my turn, it's my turn." He yelled and screamed at this lady when she didn't want to give him no ass. He yelled and screamed at her and was like, "But you let Shannon hit. You let Shannon hit." And then it was later on in the lawsuit. Um, she claims that he apologized because he learned that like she was telling the truth. Because Shannon Sharp was like, "Nah, bro, I don't mess with her. Like she ain't. That's not my work." And it went from there. But we'll see where this all goes, man. We'll see where this all goes. But I'm interested to hear. I am tired of some of them narratives, but like again, there is some bad stuff that's going on. I think we do need to focus on this guy Charlie Dixon because he was literally firing women that was not having sex with him, and then Skip Bayless. I think we need to focus on that a little bit more. But Joy Taylor though, yeah, man. I think even if it ain't true, man, just these allegations are bad in terms of like her character, in terms of her character. So we'll see, man. We'll see. All right, man. We got to wrap this up. We got to wrap this up. NFL playoffs are here. The NFL playoffs are here. All the stage is set, right? Everybody's arguing right now about the MVP. They saying it's either going to be Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. I say give it to Lamar. Josh Allen, I think he did a good job, but I don't think he got. I mean, some of his numbers ain't there, even though he did it without like a star wide receiver. Um, I think you gotta give it to Lamar. If you can't give it to Joe Burrow, I mean, cause shout out to Joe Burrow, man, finishing 9-8, finishing with a winning season, even though their team they were not in a position to move on to the next round. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback for sure in the league right now. He would be the MVP if their team was half decent. Saquon, I would say he's the MVP too. I say it should be if they're gonna keep arguing about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, then let's do a split award. Let's bring back the co MVP and it's both of them. I would also say it could be Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley co MVP. I would be down with if you don't want to give Saquon the MVP outright, then give him the co MVP. In my lifetime, I've seen it twice, and I think that's the only time is Barry Sanders and Brett Favre were co MVPs in '97, and then the year is gonna escape me, but Peyton Manning and Steve McNair were co MVPs in one season. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It does happen, and I think it should probably happen in this instance because we're too torn about it. But and NFL playoffs, this is the second year in a row that the Packers will be the seventh seed in the playoffs, and you see what we did with that seventh seed last year. I think we're a better team overall. I don't like that we're limping into the playoffs though. I don't like that. So losing the last two games and going into the playoffs does not feel great, right? Like I feel like we earned it. We were 11-win team. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is a crazy stat. How are we an 11-win team and we went 1-5 in our division? So I'm definitely disappointed in that performance because we should at least be able to go 500. We should at least be able to go 3-3. If we go 3-3 in the conference, then or in the division, then we're a 13-4 team, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's an amazing record. That's a great team right there. But the fact that we beat the Bears one time, we split with the Bears, and we lost 4 games total to Minnesota and Detroit, and then only lost to the Eagles. It shows me that like we are a good team that knows how to beat other teams, but there is this lack of urgency. There's this lack of urgency when it comes to beating the division rivals, and it sucks because we're typically strong against our division foes. We are like we don't. Last year I think we were 4-2. We swept the Bears last year, and then we split with the Vikings and we split with the Lions. So we were 4-2 last year. So to go 4-2 to 1-5, but then have a better record than we had 4 wins last year in the division, and we only beat 5 other teams in the NFL. We could only muster 5 more wins, but this year it was like we only beat one team in our division, but we managed to beat 10 other teams. 10 other teams in the NFL. So we definitely have the talent. I think our team is definitely better from last year. But with an injury to Christian Watson, I think that takes away what opponents fear about our offense. You know what I'm saying? Josh Jacobs was a workhorse, man. I think we have a defense that knows how to get takeaways. But I think Christian Watson makes defensive coordinators a little bit scared. It makes defenses a little bit scared, and it holds them accountable. So it's gonna be a tough game, man. The Eagles can be beat, but the only thing about them, they're well rested. They're well rested. Um, and that's just Jalen Hurts is probably gonna be back. Saquon Barkley is well rested, and their defense, man, they rested a lot of starters last week, so they're gonna be ready to go, man. But like I think it's gonna be another close game like week one. It's one of those things though, man, where I see our team like almost has to play perfect. We can beat some teams playing bad football, but like against the better teams, we almost had to be perfect, man. So we'll see how that goes. Last thing, man. As much as I was talking about, because I was talking about Saquon not wanting him to break the record and like wanting the record to be sacred and stuff like that. As much as I was talking about that earlier in the season, once I realized that no matter what, he was gonna have less carries than Eric Dickerson. I didn't feel as like I felt it felt okay to want him to be the MVP because I was like, all right, well, a game does matter, but like if you're doing it in less carries, right? Like if like a carry is your opportunity to break the record, right? Every carry is an opportunity to break the record. So like cumulatively, he had less carries than Eric Dickerson. That's impressive to me. That's impressive. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But what you think about this week's episode, man? What you think about all these shenanigans, these movies, these shows, this real life drama, the playoffs, man? What you think about it? This weekend, I mean, Vikings are gonna win, Packers are gonna win. Who else? What's the other game? Was it Buccaneers and who? Buccaneers. I think Buccaneers got easy. Oh no, Commanders gonna win. Commanders, Packers, and Vikings are gonna win in the first round of the on our side. On the other side, Baltimore. I predict Baltimore winning. I don't even know who's playing over. I want the Broncos to win, and see the thing is I'm gonna say a team, and then they're gonna be playing each other, like or they're gonna be playing each other, like playing against a team I already said. What is Let me see. Let me look. Cause I don't know the AFC. I never pay attention to AFC. Come on, bro. NFL. Let's go to NFL. Okay, Texans. Chargers, Ravens, Packers. Oh no, Broncos ain't win. The Broncos are not beating the Bills. The Bills. Yeah, see, I knew I was gonna have to switch it up. Commanders, Vikings. I mean, those are the games that I got. Those are the teams I got winning. But yo, man, if you're still watching the channel, man, I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, share the content with the ones that you love. People that are interested in the content, people that you know might even disagree with me, people that want that smoke, you know what I'm saying? Share it to whoever, man. Let's keep this channel growing, man. Last week that we dropped the episode, we had a really successful episode as well. Let's keep it going, man. Shout out to 2025, shout out to More Life. And yo, this is episode 176 of the Twitty Plus podcast, y'all. I'm out. I'm your host, Steph. Peace. Shout out to Visionary, man. I still got this joint, Chad. I still got this joint, man. Shout out to you, bro. One.